Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our amazing show today. I'm Jana Matthews with the Grace Company, and I'm being joined by all our fabulous friends in the UK. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, Jana. I'm Nathan with Grace Company out of Salt Lake, actually, all the way out here for the UK. Huge event just happened. But first, let's introduce everybody. We'll talk a little bit about that. And if you're joining us, I'm guessing you're probably local here as well. And we're wanting to say hi to all of you. We're going to have you, as we're doing this, give us a few comments in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know if you already know JMB. And we're going to go ahead and introduce. Again, I'm Nathan with the Grace Company, and I have
Jessica from Cardiff.
From Cardiff.
From the Cardiff store.
Robert Miller, I'm for my sins the MD of J&B.
I'm Samantha Williams, and I work in the Newport store and alongside Grace.
I'm Damian Bard with the Grace Company from the United States.
We're super excited to be here, and thanks for so many people who responded. So I know that you guys, we have done we did an event, it was about a year and a half ago maybe or something once, reaching out. And so this is streaming live on the Facebook channel and Instagram.
Yeah.
And then we have on the Grace platform as well. So if you've registered, but what we would encourage you to do is share this with your friends as well, because there's a lot of things going on over the next hour and a half. We have some fun recaps from one of the, in fact, it's the biggest show that happens from a quilting perspective, I think, in all over Europe. And maybe, Rob, why don't you share a little bit about what the show was? And
Yes, we went in almost in a slightly negative frame of mind, imagining that the recession that's currently gripping the UK could have a serious effect. And in fact, it was probably the best show we've ever done. We were engulfed by visitors from the start of day 1 to the end of day 4. And they had their purses open and they were spending. So it's been a great show.
Has been great. I was thinking about all these different people. Look, we have a few people even joining from California watching the show here in the UK.
Welcome.
I am noticing, it said it looks like we got good morning from Neolis in Wirral, W-I-R-R-A-L.
Yes.
World,
Wirral,
yeah.
Wirral, there we go. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, Charlie. I can see you
Charlie.
registered there.
We even have some individuals from Ohio joining as well. Hampshire, we've got SKJPBJ joining from there. Here's another one from Kayla. Welcome. Thanks for being with us. Nikki Hawkins is with us, and Charlie Morton. Is that
Yes,
you know
that's
Charlie?
Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie, for being with us. Is he a local then?
London.
London, not too local. Everybody might say that if we're in the U.S., we're like, now, how far is that as a drive? It's a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Right? 2-hour drive. Here's another one. Hi, Diana Campbell from Linara. I guess Lianharan. Linaran.
Oh, Clanharan.
Clanharan. There you go. Thank you. So thanks. That's why I might need you over here because I'm like, I don't know. Here's one as well. Let's read this. So this is from a lot of Sojays. I'm not quite sure. Good afternoon from Kent. I was able to attend Birmingham this year, but have chatted to JMB in the past. So he wasn't able to, but he's had some conversations with the JMB team.
Hello from South Wales. There's a local one.
Oh,
Kimberly
there you
Arnold.
go. Wonderful. As you come in again, just know, feel free to go ahead and put some information and do chat with us because we're going to do a few, we've done some pre-selected live drawings. And if you're okay, we might give away a couple things with those who are joining with us today as well. We have a fantastic schedule of some wonderful things we're going to share with you. Let me just do this really quick because you've been to Birmingham to the show.
Yep.
Rob, you've been. Jess,
Indeed.
you've been. Damien, first time for you.
Yes.
So now you flew across.
Yeah.
You're here. Tell everybody what you thought about joining and being here in this amazing country with that amazing event. What were some of your thoughts?
Yeah. Thanks, Nathan. It's been a fantastic event. First time I've been to the Birmingham show, and first time I've been to a quilt event of this size, and I just can't tell you how impressed I was with the sophistication of the quilters from the UK, their knowledge of products, their creativity, the incredible quilts they were able to produce, and frankly, their friendliness. I just had so many great conversations with people where we shared an interest in quilting, their passion for this craft. So it's been a really positive experience for me.
Yeah, it was very fun to be there this year. It's continued to grow. COVID kind of stopped all that, right?
Yes.
And last year it was a little bit bigger. This year, one of the things I noticed was we ended up conferences. We had a couple of visitors that knew Grace also from Austria and Czech and all those areas. So it was really fun. And again, just so you guys know, if you're in the area where you took a train or you were able to drive or you were able to visit Birmingham, that show, when I compare this, it is the second show largest to Houston that I ever go to. And I go to a lot of shows, and so it is impressive. If you weren't there this year, I'd put it on your bucket list next year because the quilts are amazing. There's a lot of vendors, there's a lot of classes, and so it's exactly what you want to do if you're in the sewing and the quilting world. So Gianna, do you mind if you just share a little bit about what we can expect today, kind of as what we're going to do for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks everybody so much. We're going to be doing we got to see the Festival of Quilts, so we have some live videos we're going to be showing that the group there in the UK were able to film for us, so we can bring the show to everybody who's watching at home. So we're going to have a view of what the booth looked like and some of the products that were there. We'll come back and do some question and answers there because we know you'll have some questions about either product or how you can get a hold of all these things. Then we're going to do a view of what the quilts look like. So if you didn't get a chance to walk through the quilts, we're going to have that video coming through. Then we'll do another Q&A. And then we'll do a final video of the Festival of Quilts with the Quilters Playground if you didn't get a chance to visit. So at the end of that, we're going to do our first pre-registration giveaway. This is the luminous light bar. This is the first thing we're going to give away. It's going to be fantastic. It's the 10-foot luminous light bar that you can do as either a 10, 8, or 5-foot. Again, we're doing these for people who have registered for the event. So that's going to be fantastic. That's the first giveaway. Then we're going to watch a video on fundamentals of free motion quilting that Carla's going to talk about. It's fantastic. Whether you're using a domestic machine or you're using a Quilting machine, whatever machine you're using, it'll give you some tips on that, and we'll come back then and we'll talk about it.
Thanks, appreciate that. Now, if you're joining again with us, just be aware, and if you know, we do this within the States and in the UK, be very careful with what you're going to see. We will respond, and you'll show that it will be from Grace Company if there's a question with an answer. In the past, whether it's on Facebook or whether we're doing this on YouTube or Instagram or on our platform, every now and then somebody jumps in that probably we would say we would not like them to be in there, and they're trying to persuade people to do things or go off site. So that's not going to be something we do. So if you do have questions, know that they're going to be coming from Grace Company. If you have them as well, we'll try to answer those as they come up. We got somebody there from Cardiff still coming through, so it's fun. Bristol Channel, wonderful. There's Terry. So again, as you're coming, let us know where you're coming from. So that way we can kind of understand and know everybody who's joining. Share with a friend. We do have several of you that are here. Hey, let your friends know that we're live as well. And if you haven't registered and you're, let's say, on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, you can also register. And Jan, is this at the events location is where they've registered really quick? How did you send that?
So the link is on Facebook on JMV's site, or you can find it on the Grace Frame page, graceframe.com, the events page. So either way, you can register for the event and get registered for those prizes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. I myself am going to help move the camera around, so I'm going to step behind everybody while we kind of talk about the first video that we'd like to do. So I'm going to kind of move around. And then I know, Rob, you got a few things you'll do, but we'll have you back later on in the show as well. Before you step away really quick, why would now be a time to buy if somebody wasn't at the Birmingham show, didn't have a chance, and they didn't know what kind of specials you were running, so that they can be thinking about this as we go throughout and share all these reviews?
Yes. One of the things we did at the Festival of Quilts was offer all our frames and machines VAT free. So we reduced the prices by the equivalent amount of the VAT. That offer is running up to and including this Saturday, the 13th of August. So it's not too late to contact us. For those who don't know our number, it's 01633 284646.
One more time.
01633 284646, and we'll be happy to transact it for you.
I will tell you, I saw the list because I showed up. I was a little bit later. I had a few things going on before I was able to come and arrive. I'm like, hey, where's the price list? What's going on? And I took the list. And I was first going like, those are so many prices. And then I've been here in the years past as well. And then Rob, I know kind of where things are. And there were people asking, and I'm like, if you had thought about this now is the time. So I would just re-encourage you.
I agree.
You've done a really good job at trying to be very aggressive. If you've been on the fence, let's get you off the fence. The Cutie was the hot seller as well. I think there,
Yeah.
50, 60 something units being sold there at the event, walking them out the door.
I think there's a few more than that actually.
a few more than that.
So,
And they were on sale. What's the price on that one as an example?
665.83.
Yeah.
So again, if you thought about a Cutie, they retail at 12. I think you normally sell them around 8,000 when we kind of have them 800. Did I say 8,000? Yeah, 800. And again, they were on at like 665.83. So phenomenal deal as well. And we'll talk about and do some demos later. You have any thoughts on that, Jess?
Yeah, it's the cheapest that we've ever sold it at. So basically, come and grab it at this price.
It was pretty fun. We did True Cut. We'll talk a little about that. Sam, any of your last thoughts about the Birmingham event?
I think it was great
Festival of Quilts.
actually. Obviously, going to these over the years, this one just seemed to have such a different feel to it than normal. The show itself is different. You have got sort of wider areas, so it's great to be able to demonstrate and show you without, sort of being swamped at the stall. So it was a great show. It's a really good turnout.
And if you do have questions, again, feel free to stop by the store. So they're open through Saturday,
Yeah.
usually. So again, that's when the last of the sales will be over. But if you're not sure, give them a call. Let's get you some quotes as well. But let's go ahead, and I'm going to step around, and then Jana, looks like a couple other people are saying hello and thanks. It looks like a few people were mentioning that
Yeah.
you love buying your
See,
machine
yeah.
and some things.
We got
and
people
then, Jana, our
from
first video-
Stoke, and yeah.
Sorry, go. What's our first video going to be again? It's the
Our first video is the booth at the Festival of Quilts.
So I'm going to go ahead and let you maybe introduce that, Damien, to everybody.
Sure. Happy to do it. So this first video is just really showing our booth, our stand. We had 10 people between Rob's team and our team from the United States that came over for the festival. So it just shows you some of the frames and the machines that we're showing at the festival. Has a little bit of information from Rob about the background of his company, and just gives you the look and feel of what it was like to be there at the show. Of course, there's a lot of people coming in and out of the picture because they were all around the stand. It was very exciting, very dynamic, very busy show. So that's what this first video will be about.
Rob, any thoughts from you on that?
I'm just looking at one lovely comment there. I bought a Cutie, set it up, and practicing now. It's great. Well done, Geraldine Gibson.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And another one, loving my new machine, bought at Sandown Show. Thanks, Helen Kane.
All right, so we're ready to go with this video.
Okay.
Jana, thank you for your help with that, and thanks to all our friends for joining us today for this live event. So happy to have you with us.
We appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Everybody, welcome and greetings from Festival of Quilts here in Birmingham at the NEC. We've been exhibiting for 4 days to a very large visitor network, and our booth has been incredibly busy.
Yes, it has, Rob. It's been a fantastic week. So many quilters coming from all different parts of the UK. I've also met several people from different parts of Europe. It's been a great week.
It has indeed. This is Damien, who is from the Grace Company,
Hi, everybody.
and he's been one of our assistants. We've had 10 people from the Grace Company, all working for the greater good of British quilters, demonstrating all the wonderful Grace products, and we've had quite a few new ones this year.
And I tell you, this is my first time to the Birmingham show, and I've been so impressed with the British quilters. So many passionate people who have a creative vision for what they want to accomplish with quilting. It's just been really inspiring. Well, we thought you would, since you weren't able to attend the show, we thought you might like an opportunity to see some of what's here, see some of the quilts, see the booth, meet some members of our team. So we thought we'd just take you on a bit of a tour here at the Birmingham Festival of Quilts. So Rob, can you lead us around and we'll take a little bit of a tour?
Yes, of course. So there is Mark from the Grace Company, and he is demonstrating the Cutie frame, and then we have the Cutie with a Bonina, which is here.
Rob, a quick question for you.
Yes.
So this week has been such a busy week. Lots of people coming in. What have people thought about the cutie frames? All the different versions and the different options that are available there.
The QT has been an absolute revelation. We have been continually bombarded with questions. We've barely had a single moment where there weren't 3, 5, 10 people gathered around them. The fact that we have 3 on display.
So tell us, Rob, how many years have you been doing this show?
This will be our 4th version of it, and it is without any doubt the busiest yet.
Tell us a little bit about J&B
Right.
Sewing.
J&B Sewing Machines was established in 1961. J&B were my parents, Joan and Bruce. They started the business with literally £100, and Dad always said he's not sure that there ever was £100. And to now being one of the biggest sewing machine distributors in the UK.
And where do you have customers in the UK?
Customer base literally covers the 4 corners of the UK.
That's great.
We've installed a quilting frame as far north as Helmsdale. We've got them in East Anglia, where the next stop is Holland. We have them on the south coast, where the next stop is France. And we have them on the west coast, where the next stop is Ireland.
And I can tell you from the 4 days of the festival that I've been here, I have met visitors from all over the UK and some from Europe as well,
Yes.
but they come from really every corner. For those of you who haven't had a chance to come this year, we're going to take a little bit of tour of the festival, see some of the quilts, as well as see some of the other, what we call the Quilters Playground, which is in another part of the venue, which I think you're really going to like. Before we do that, why don't we just do a final walk around to the stand, and you can show us the remainder of the machines and frames that are here.
Here we have the flagship of the Grace range. It's the new 21 Elite, a wonderful machine, 21-inch throat space, large screen with all the features for edge sense, and then we have it coupled up with the full Grace automation, a wonderful system that allows us to do patterns, expand the shapes to fill the space available, or apply different patterns to different areas on the quilt.
Great.
It's on the new Evolution frame, and this is Grace's heaviest, strongest frame yet, and it really is built for a lifetime of use.
And have you found how have folks responded to this frame and this machine during the show?
We've found the response to the Evolution frame has been tremendous. They just love the solidness of it. I mean, it just doesn't move anywhere, and it is built forever.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, Rob. That's
Then
great.
we have the Quilters Evolution hook frame. Again, we're showing this with the Q19, which is Grace's 19-inch machine. Again, the Elite version. And again, we have the Quilters Creative Touch software. So you can do any types of patterns. Looks a little bit of a mess now because we've just been allowing everybody to have a play. But wonderful piece of software. Finesse thread, which is the thread developed by the Grace Company to use on their machines. Proving tremendously successful, and at £5.99 per reel, it is going out by the boxful. This is our entry-level mid-arm, the Unique 16X. We're showing that on the hoop frame, and that is a wonderful machine. It will bring people in to the world of quilting without bursting the bank balance, and probably our best-selling machine. This is Jessica, one of our team based out of our Cardiff shop. And then the lady with her is my sister, Pamela.
Hi.
Hi, Pamela.
How are you?
Are you helping with TrueCut today?
Jesse's just shown me how to use it, so it's really good.
How have you two enjoyed the show so far?
Oh, it's been marvellous. Really great.
Excellent.
The TrueCut range of cutters have been developed by the Grace Company with customer safety and comfort in mind. We call it a comfort cutter. It has an ergonomic shape. There's no push through the wrist. On the track, done.
It's very, very smooth,
No,
easy,
no,
sharp.
no wrist strain. So it's on there. There we go.
Yeah, looks great.
They do a whole range of rulers, different size cutters, sharpening equipment, true grips to put on the rear of the ruler to stop them slipping. And it really, the sales this week have been incredible. People are discovering it and finding out that it's so much better than the ones they had. So it's selling well.
Well, that's great. So, Rob, for those people who haven't been able to attend the show, are they still able to contact you and benefit from some of the?
Of course. We are running all the Grace offers that we have here until the end of the coming week. So that's Saturday the 13th, I believe. And we will be offering the VAT free offer on all the machines and frames.
VAT free, that's a significant discount.
That is definitely a significant discount, and people have been lapping it up. It's been our best show by some distance, and I'm sure it is because of that offer.
Well, that's great. Well, Rob, thanks for showing us around.
No problem.
We're going to take a little break here and go see some quilts and make our way around the festival. But again, Rob, it's great to have you here. Great to be with you at the Birmingham Festival of Quilts. Thanks for your tour.
Thank you, Damien. That's really helped.
That was fantastic. I so loved getting to see the booth and everything that was going on there. I'm going to bring the other team back on here. Hey guys, that was great.
So I'm going to do this. I'm going to step behind. I'm going to move the camera so everybody can see, because we're in their showroom here.
Oh, fantastic.
This is everything. We've got everybody over here. They're here. And then Sam, maybe you can tell us a little bit about what we got here on the left. Come put your hand. Oh, there's Jess. Hey, we're all, yeah. So go ahead and share.
So here we've got our row of cuties just showing you what's available. So we have them with domestic machines. One of our favourites is the Janome HD9. As you come up, then we have got different domestic machines. And then we've also got our naked frame, so we can show you how light that is to actually pick up and move it along.
So it's fun. It's wonderful. In fact, this whole space was built out actually in order to house all the Grace Company products, and then a couple other sergers here with a couple other brands as well. But it's been fun to be here. So, Jen, I think we're going to be introducing the next segment, and maybe I can have you share a little bit, Sam, since you and Damon were there.
Yeah.
What did you kind of show them? What can they expect?
So Damien grabbed me and said, let's go and have a look at some quilts. So we first started off at a quilt that we sponsor as the Grace Company. Fantastic quilt. And in the video, you will see that we show the detail that was put into that quilt. And I think Damien was quite impressed.
Oh, very beautiful.
With the quilt.
Very intense.
Yeah.
And again, I wish we could have brought you many, many more, but we wanted to make sure and keep these segments in alignment with kind of your available. And if you're not there, go next year. You got to come, because I'll tell you, I think you can spend pretty much an entire day just experiencing all of the different quilts. So, but that's wonderful. So, Jen, I think we're ready to kind of see a little bit of this introduction from the quilting from the quilts.
We'll see you in just a bit.
Okay, so we made it to the playground and we're here with Carla, and we're going to have some talks about what we've got on offer here. Over to you.
So the playground booth is your opportunity to come and experiment and try new things, new ways to quilt.
We're back at the Festival of Quilts at Birmingham, the NEC. And as you can see behind me, we have got a wonderful piece here that the Grace Company actually sponsor. This was created by 2 people and they have won second prize. There is a lot of detail on this quilt. We've got a lot of metallic painting on the fabric, and we have got some beautiful stitching. You've got echo quilting, there's pebbling, and it's just such a detail. So as you can see just in here, you've got all the quilting, and it just leaves such a good texture. The ladies have created some beautiful colours on this quilt, and we are very proud to say that they did win second place. As we continue on, we're going to show you some of the other quilts, and then we're going to make our way down to the Quilters Playground, where we've got a lot more staff from the Grace Company and also a lot of our frames, machines and accessories.
Now, Sam, you need to introduce who you are, because you've been a little bit modest here.
Yes, right. So my name's Samantha and I work at J&B Sewing Machines. I work a lot with the Grace Company at J&B Sewing Machines, and it has become a passion of mine to see what other people are creating and be a part of that. I like to show people how to use their machines, give them tips and ideas, and I just love to help. So for me, it's been a great pleasure to be able to work with the Grace Company.
Okay, should we continue our tour?
Yes, please.
All right, here we go.
So again, we have another good piece here. This one has used a lot of metallic thread on black fabric, and it just looks great. They've also embellished it with some crystals, which you may catch just in the light there glistening at the top of that quilt. The amount of detail that is in this quilt is unbelievable. So if we zoom in there is so much free motion. You can see there's a lot of very, very, very small stitching, which is what we would call micro stippling. There's a lot of detail around the daisies. You've got so much detail in the background of those butterflies. They've also used what I would call rip-rack to give such a good detail around that binding. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, great points.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. So small, but so
that
deep.
outline there, and as we all know, metallic thread is fun, and so well done.
Yeah, nice.
So this here is the first prize winner. You see there's a lot of attention to detail using things like the rip-rack again going around here. You have got a lovely twist in there, that is fantastic. I also like how they have used the scalloped edge on the border. I think that just looks great. Lovely attention to detail. In the background of here, again, there is a lot of micro stippling.
Yeah,
Love
that's
the colours.
beautiful. Love the colors. Love the orange. That's my favorite
Yeah,
part.
it pops, doesn't it? It really,
Sure
really
does.
does make it pop.
It's really great.
There we go. I've always said orange and purple are a winner.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Orange is a great
On to the
color.
next.
Okay, off we go.
Lovely quilt. A lot of use of raw edge applique. So they have pre-cut fabrics and then stitched them on. I think that's lovely, and I love the use of the batiks there on the wording. Great.
We're back. That's a great tour, Sam. Thank you so much. You are very knowledgeable about quilts. I think that was a really fantastic couple of examples of what's going on here.
I have looked at a few quilts in my time, so.
Yeah. Should we keep walking? So, Sam, I'm just curious. You've been coming to this show for a while now.
Since we started with Grace.
What is your impression about the quilters that are coming here and some of their interests, how those interests maybe are changing over time, that kind of thing?
Well, since I've started, I come into this as a complete novice, not really understanding the world of quilting. I have seen people who have made their first quilt and are now on their 20th, 30th quilt. I've seen people grow with what they can do, and I just think it's absolutely amazing, and credit to everyone who can actually come here and put their quilts out for display. I think it's great.
Jarek is giving a demonstration right now about the True Cut. So
That's my favourite, the 45. You make less mistakes with True Cut.
So you find there's fewer mistakes with True Cut?
Definitely. I think the accuracy using the track guide and that little edge on the ruler really, really makes a big difference.
We're going to move over now to something that we're really excited about. It's the first time that we've ever had this at the Birmingham show. It's called, you want to introduce it?
No, you do the honors.
Okay, well, it's called the Quilters Playground, which we're going to talk about that, but it's just what it sounds like. It's an opportunity for quilters from around the UK and from around the world to come in and have an experience making their own quilting project and then take that back home. Thanks, Sam.
Wow, that was so cool. I wish I could have walked with you all the way through all those different quilts. Those were so fun.
There was some really, really beautiful work. As I mentioned earlier, they're fantastic. It was fun to walk around. You know, Sam has a lot more knowledge of the details of quilting than I knew about. We just met each other for the first time. It was good to hear her narrate that. And I learned a lot about quilting just from watching and listening to her. We mentioned about the Quilters Playground at the end of that video. We're going to show you another video in just a couple of minutes that gives you more details about what's going on with the play, what happened. This is the first time we've had it at the Birmingham show, to tell you a little bit about what was involved. But in that last video, we saw a little bit of an introduction about TrueCut and our colleague Jarek, who was demonstrating there. Sam, do you want to add a little bit to what we saw with Jarek and some of the products with TrueCut?
But I think he really knows what he's doing, because after every demonstration, we had floods of people coming up to us. And they commented on how great he was, and he really had good knowledge. And everybody wanted a 360 circle cutter. It was unbelievable. As well as that, obviously, we had the most popular 45 rotary cutter.
Tell everybody why. Tell them why somebody would buy this versus an
I'll come in on
I'll
come in on that one. The TrueCut range of products have taken normal circular cutters and rulers to a new level. Not only have they introduced the ergonomic cutter, where instead of holding your wrist like that, you actually use your hand in a flatter way, which takes away all the repetitive strain. It also has a clip-on feature that clips on the edge of the ruler. So as you cut, you don't disappear off at 45 degrees. So you get a clean cut, a true cut, hence the name. And it's an absolutely fantastic product that we just sold almost in cases. There were that many went out.
I'm excited that, you know, people were saying, oh, I didn't get a chance to come, but showing everything that you have there in your shop, people can still come, try everything that they could have seen at the show, have their own little quilters playground, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jana, can you tell us, you've done a lot of shows around the United States and North America. Can you tell us your feelings about TrueCut a little bit, some of the advantages there and some of the things that quilters have told you in the United States about working with TrueCut?
Yeah, one of the very first shows that I went to and I was demonstrating TrueCut, I was explaining how with the track and guide system, how safe it makes it. And that was the opportunity for all the quilters to show me all their boo-boos and injuries from quilting, photos that are seared into my memory of damages that they received from other cutting systems, because as you're cutting along, they would veer to the left and accidentally cut over their fingers, or edges of fingers or different things, or they would show how much wasteful it was because they would go to the right and then veer off and have these like kind of tails of their fabric and have to cut twice. So not only is it saving yourself from damage, but also your fabric. You're not having to cut twice. You can use all that fabric at one time. So those are some of my favorite things about the TrueCut system.
Okay, so I'm going to step in here, Jana, around the back. I'm going to see if you can just take us close up on this. And I'm seeing some people asking a couple other good questions. We'll come back to some of these questions. I'm going to show you the JMB wall in here. If you're local, why you would want to come in and why you would want to give one of these demo. I'm going to pick this up here. Let's move it over. Show everybody. Here we go. This is in the back there, the TrueCut wall. So Jan, I don't know if you can take us full screen there. So there we go. You've got a whole wall, top to bottom. That includes everything from, yes, even electric sharpeners. There's the circle cutter there in the middle. I'm going to use my finger to kind of point. There's the circle cutter, electric sharpeners. These are the most. There is not an ergonomic cutter that is more ergonomic than what you're going to find in the TrueCut line anywhere else. Several rulers, amongst other things. And so obviously JMB has a low supply. I will tell you this honestly, at the show, and I'm pretty sure, Rob, you would have heard this too. I had several ladies coming up saying, where else can I get them? And really, JMB is the exclusive distributor for all of the UK. But some ladies had the products and they had bought pieces and parts of that, but they were wanting to combine them. They wanted the cutters, they wanted the rulers, they wanted the true grips. Again, so it's been a phenomenal product that we've had for quite some years at the Grace Company. Again, there's still, to this day, nothing like that system as a whole. I have some in there. Thank you, Rebecca, saying I love my TrueCut cutter. Wonderful. And so now, Damien, I guess we can go ahead and introduce again everybody to that next video that we've got.
You bet. I'm also proud to announce, I don't think we had to pull out the first aid kit one time.
No.
All fingers intact.
Yeah, so Well, this next video, I think you're really going to like. Again, if you've been to the Birmingham show, the Festival of Quilts before in prior years, you would not have had the opportunity to participate in the Quilters Playground. Just a little bit of introduction. This was in a separate location from our commercial booth and focused on an opportunity to really have anybody from the show come into the playground and do just what the name suggests, to play around and to create a project using any of the Grace products, frames, machines, TrueCut, and then to kind of consult with some of our creative artists that are with the Grace Company to create a project that they could take home, show to their family and friends, and be proud of. And so that's what this video is going to talk a little bit. We're going to feature Carla from the Grace Company in the United States, who's going to demonstrate some machines and also point out some techniques that were used in some of the winning quilts at the Festival of Quilts. So anything else to add to that, Sam?
Carla taught me so much.
Yeah.
She really, really did.
She is a whiz.
Yeah.
All right. So Jen, I think we're ready for that video.
Okay, so we made it to the playground and we're here with Carla and we're going to have some talks about what we've got on offer here. Over to you.
So the playground booth is your opportunity to come and experiment and try new things, new ways to quilt. It just gets your mind thinking about what are the possibilities. Oh, do I want to try rulers? Yes, you do. Hey, we have the couching foot here. It has been such a showstopper. Everybody who sees us using it, they think, oh, how can I do it? And there's a fabulous quilt down there that was all done by couching that we have to show you. First place winner, by the way.
Very nice.
So if you wanted to see what couching can do, we'll take you down and show it off. But anyway, we just changed our foot to the couching foot, and we're just going to move along and make. Yeah, come on over and let's try rulers. All right. So now we have the ruler foot right here, okay? It has a high shank and our template. I have a circle template here, and I'm just going to hold it down with my less dominant hand, my left hand, and move my way around, holding the foot next to it as I come all the way around and make a complete circle. Like our circle cutter, you can make circles on your quilt. Now, I could fill this in with pebbling, this with the back and forth, all the way across. You could fill this in any way you like it, and you have a fun, creative design made with just the ruler foot, and your imagination. So let's go explore some more. So maybe you wonder, would I like a long arm machine? And the answer is yes. It has a deeper throat, and it covers a lot larger area of your quilting. But maybe you have room for a long arm, so we have hoop frames. Little cutie frames, whose own hoop frame. So we have anything that you need to get you moving forward in your quilting journey. Now I'm going to turn on this long arm machine, and we're just going to play around with it and show you how easy it is. Figure out a new way to quilt.
Well, thank you so much. Sam, you want to sign us off?
Well, I think the last thing we'd like to go and see is that fantastic quilt that Carla spoke about with her quilting accessories.
Come on down. Let me show you how beautiful it is.
Wow. That
Isn't
is
that
amazing.
Every one of them is totally different. All of this with the yarn is couched, okay?
Okay.
All of this here are quilting designs that she's added to enhance the look of each of these beautiful birds.
Well, that's a pretty great way, I think, to sign off from the 2023 Birmingham Festival of Quilts. What do you think, Sam?
I think that was the perfect way to end this. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, well,
Wow.
welcome back, everyone.
Rob, how long is it until next year's show? I feel like we just finished up, and I'm already excited for
Well,
next year.
just 11 months and 3 weeks, and we'll be back there once again showing all the wonderful Grace equipment.
Well, we did have a question during that segment I wanted to bring up. They were asking, do you need to use the ruler base with the couching foot?
I can answer that, most definitely not. The couching foot just fits on the machine, the thread is laid in, the yarn, and away you go. No need to use the ruler base at all.
Yeah, you would only need the ruler base if you're doing the ruler foot and the rulers to give
Correct.
yourself a platform to put that ruler on while you're quilting. So you can get that ruler, that couching foot, no problem. And it comes in a pack with 9 other hopping feet set. So it's a wonderful addition to your long arm. We need to do our giveaway for today. Now, this is again the 10-foot luminous light bar. The people chosen for these giveaways were from those who have registered for the event on the platform. So this is the luminous light bar. It's my favorite item for an accessory. I think it's on wheels, casters, so you can move it wherever you need to in your sewing and craft areas. You can even
Such
take
a
it over
great
the dining
light
room
as
table.
well, isn't it?
It
gives
is.
proper daylight lighting, and it illuminates your studio.
And it's LED, so it's not hot. It doesn't. We've had some people who are like, as they're working underneath it, they were worried that they were going to get too hot as it was being such bright light, and it's fantastic. It doesn't give you that extra heat. So again, we've got that 10-foot luminous light bar, and if you guys want to give us a drum roll, we'll get our person chosen. Congratulations, Jane Lacey. We have your information.
Oh, well done, Jane.
We will send you an email to get that coordinated, to get that out to you. So congratulations, Jane, on that.
I think
So-
Jane's gonna be happy.
They're also on sale, so.
Yes,
Yes, do not despair. You too can have one.
Yeah, we have 5-foot and the 10-foot in stock, ready for immediate delivery.
Now, if people need to contact you, Rob and Sam, I've got the ticker going all across the bottom of the video here. So if they just look down below, they can see how to email, how to phone, how to look up the website, any of the ways to get a hold of JMB. And you can, if you don't win any of the fabulous prizes, or if you've been thinking now is the time that I need to come down and try everything out. I missed the Quilters Playground at the Festival of Quilts, but I still want to come and see the product. This is your opportunity. Contact JMB Sewing and they can be able to get you set up with whatever you need for your quilting and sewing needs.
We have a permanent display here, so it's never a problem. If anyone wants to come in, just come and see us.
Fantastic. So our next video is going to be fundamentals of free motion quilting. It's a part 1. This is with Carla. Again, Carla Jerome, our Director of Education here. She is such a wealth of knowledge. And every time I watch this video, I learn something new. So we're going to go to that video now, and we'll join you afterwards.
Hello everybody and welcome. Today I get to talk to you about something that I really enjoyed as a quilter, and that's free motion quilting. And I've done a lot of research and I've been able to learn free motion quilting really on my own. Yes, there's some great quilters out there and they have a lot of good advice, but a lot of new beginners don't know where to start or why it's important to do certain steps as you're free motion quilting. And they just bypass it because it becomes a little difficult and they think that they're not artistic enough to do their own thing with the free motion quilting and drawing out designs. And so I just want to help you become more confident so that you are taking tips and techniques that I'm teaching to be able to go and give you the confidence and do your free motion quilting. So, doing my research, I had to think back of where I started, and I started quite a while ago. And so I have gotten better with my free motion quilting, and a lot of it comes from experience, and the way that you're able to sew across your quilt. Now, think back of when you first started sewing or first started writing or first started walking. You take baby steps, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today is the baby steps leading up to it. Now, when you start quilting, a lot of quilters think they want to be this fabulous quilter right out of the bat, and you're not, okay? Because the machine's a little smooth and it's easy to make little wobbles in your designs. And even today, all the professional quilters are not perfect quilters. So allow yourself the learning curve. Just say, you know what? I've got to learn this and know that it can be learned. I mean, we all have to start somewhere in the quilting process. And so the first place I want you to start is practicing. And I want you to think about getting a doodle notebook. This notebook will help you come as a resource. It helps you practice drawing your designs, and that practicing as you're doodling is so important because it helps your memory retention as you come to the quilting frame. It allows you to remember which directions you need to move or how you want to draw the design. This doodling part of quilting is extremely important and something that if you're not doing, it's so much fun. You know, if you're sitting in front of the TV or you're just sitting there talking on the phone, put your phone on speaker and start doodling and just practice your designs while you're talking, because then you're doing two things at once, and that even helps you even more because it helps you remember the direction that you're supposed to draw, but you're doing another exercise talking at the same time, so you're trying to focus on two different items, so it helps you to multitask. So those are great tips and tools. So if you have any free time, just sit down and doodle. No matter where you are, even if you're in the car just riding along, listening to the radio. If you're the passenger, don't do it while you're driving, okay? But if you're the passenger, just doodle away. And a lot of our phones have pens that we can doodle as well. So start a doodle notebook. And start with easy designs. When we first started our penmanship and writing, we started out with easy, simple little things. And with a lined notebook, it helps you work on your proportions as well. So I have my little doodle notebook that has the lined papers in it. And as I started doodling, some of the first easy designs are just little waves and loops. And just start using the alphabet, the cursive alphabet, not regular letters, but the cursive alphabet is a great resource for designs in quilting. So this is a small case L and a little E. And I've just did 2 lines to to show how I did the L, but I did the single distance between the two lines as the E, and I just, mastered that. So, and then another one is like a U. So it's a curve and an up, down, up, down, up, down. And like I said, the proportions on the lines really help you make it nice and even all the way across. So just to show you, and then as you're quilting, you can just do L's all the way across. Then you can add L and then an E, and you can do the U's. You can make them a little smaller, but then you can start adding elements to it. So you can do a U with a circle underneath, and then you curve over the top, do a circle again, and then you move around and you do your circle again. Then you'll add a circle at the bottom of your U, and then at the top of the U coming across the top, so that valley and hills. Let's call them valley and hills. So you'll add a circle on the valley, and then another circle on the hill. And so you'll just move across. And then, as you're working on your designs, what you'll do now is that we're just making the distance a little longer using my lines. So instead of just 1, I'm using 4 so I'm doing my little circle on the hill. And this will help you work with your meandering and learn how to stipple. So if you'll practice, and then practice changing the direction of how you quilt, that also helps your memory. And also change the position of the design on your quilt. So this is just upside down E's, and then I started doing upside down L's as well. So you can see that this would make a fun little element in a border or a sash sheet, doing the different directions. Now this is a capital L. It's just a nice loop coming back. And again, these lines help me keep my proportion of my design so that I have it proportionally correct. Now, it doesn't help with the distance. So if you're concerned about the distance in between, you could just measure going across like this and add little lines so that you can keep the distance correct and the circles correct. So there's lots of ways that you can practice your doodling. Now this is a fun design as well. So this is just kind of a zigzag. It's so simple, but you wouldn't realize it. This is my start point right here. And I moved up at a diagonal to this line here. Okay, on my sheet of paper. So I went diagonal, then I went towards. If I was in front of it, it would have been the left, okay? So it's the right on me. So move to the left as you're sitting in front of it. And then you'll come back down to the diagonal and you'll move to the left again. And then you'll go back up and you'll just keep doing that all the way across. So you have this little fun design. That's a fun one to practice. And so challenge you to practice something new and a little different. Then, as you're doodling, another fun thing in your doodle notebook to also help you learn how to fill in different shapes. So I'm just using simple squares for my shape, but you could use a hexagon or a triangle and try different things. So just draw them in your notebook and practice with little filler designs. So this isn't even complicated at all. It's just a design that I did in the valley and the hills. It's a little longer, but I just went across making them vertical, and then I came across and made them horizontal. So it just changes direction. And on a quilt, it's very pleasing to the eye to have the different directions because it draws your eyes different areas. So practice on that. Then notice that now I started in the corner with my valley and hills, and I went this direction. So now I probably leave these two blank. So try different ways of quilting. You don't have to fill in every area, and sometimes that can become a little messy. And sometimes you need that little space that has nothing in it whatsoever, and that makes it more pleasing as you're looking at it. So sometimes when a quilt has too much on it, it's hard to notice and recognize all that beautiful quilting, and sometimes less is more. So just decide how you like to quilt and what you like. Doesn't matter what anybody else likes. If you like it, that's great. Okay, now the stippling. A lot of quilters think, wow, let me start with the stipple. Stippling is actually a little harder than you would think. So practice in your notebook and practice in little squares so you can get the puzzle movements down. And stippling is just curves like a puzzle piece and going in different directions to kind of make it look a little meandering across your page. So start in one corner. Don't lift your pencil, keep going. And you'll notice that where you get hung up in a corner, just make it a little smaller and then come out. All the puzzle pieces are not exactly the same little size. They have small ones and large ones. So it doesn't matter if you get caught in a little corner. Notice that I kind of did a little erasing. That some of them are a little smaller because I was getting closer to my corner right here. So I kind of got caught there, so I had to just make this a little smaller. So practice that. And you can even practice it with points or spirals. Now, this is a fun little spiral design. It teaches you the basic beginnings of a spiral because spirals are not that easy to start with. So what you'll do is you'll come in and bring it to a point and then come back out. And I just kind of made it a little popcorn flower. And then you'll just come out and make it to a point. Just practice, practice, practice. And practice this all over your page. You know what? The more you do it, the better you'll become. So another simple design, I just wanted to show you about the spirals since we did the little popcorn, is this is a closed loop spiral. You can notice that as I come into it, I've got it really close to the same loop and I echoed around it. This is an open spiral because they're not touching. This is a closed and this is open because this one here, I closed it because each of the spirals are touching the next one. And this is open because they're not even touching each other. So it's going to cover more area more quickly as you're quilting. This is going to take a little bit more time because it's a little denser and closer together. So just look at the proportions and what you like and how you want to quilt. Okay, and a couple other little tools that I think are valuable for you. As I was working on processes and ideas, start again. I want to remind you, if you're not confident with free motion quilting, start simple. You can make a beautiful quilt with simple, easy designs. This quilt right here, I wanted to show you. It's open spirals, but it kind of gives you that movement. So as we were looking at it, it looks more like tree. And also we added names in this because it made it fun. It's like when kids were smaller, I put their names in things so that they would look for it and it keeps them engaged and excited about what we're quilting. So I added Charlie's name here. Okay. Now right here for the background, I did some stippling. And then for my flag, notice that I did the waves back and forth. And how much fun that is. Simple design. And then I did my stars. We all know how to draw stars. You just add stars and little loops to keep them going. And that's really it. Those are really, and then on the house here, we just kind of did some U's. But nothing complicated. But look how much fun the quilt is. And just from those simple, easy designs, boy, you can create beautiful quilts. And that's how we started out. It was just something simple. This is a really old quilt that I did a long, long, long time ago. Now, the quilt on the back wall is a little more complicated because I had more experience as I was quilting. Notice that in the sashing, I just did the loops. Simple, easy, but it's eye-catching. And in the center, I did the little X with some, it's a little feather X, if you want to call it. It's not really a wreath, but the back of the quilt is just as fun as the front of the quilt. So, and then I kind of took the feather design with the little circle that I used in the sashing and the square, and added it to the border to keep it going. And the border was so easy to do. It's just a little paisley, a couple of them, and then a spiral. Nothing complicated, but I took some time and practiced before I started quilting. And I also positioned things off. My border, I sectioned it off to get my proportions correct. And your doodle notebook, as you're doodling and coming up with new ideas and new designs, is a great resource for you to look back on for your quilting. So the next thing I want you to do is get a piece of clear template plastic, okay? And you have a rougher side and a smoother side and a dry erase. And then this allows you to draw your designs on it, to see what designs you like. So I'm going to position this along my block here that I want to fill in. What I'm going to do is kind of section it off here. All right, that looks pretty good. So now I could start here in the corner, go like this. That kind of looks fun, a little different. And then you could just keep going. And then just keep going this way. So that's kind of fun and a little different. So you could do something like that. And then we could come down here to this smaller square right here and then see what the loops look like. And you know what? Sometimes those mistakes are happy mistakes. See, I'm talking, doing what I'm telling you, and not. So just take this template plastic. It's a fun way to see what your design will look like and if it's what you want on your quilt. Then once you've done that, I would suggest drawing it on a piece of paper and then unthreading your needle. And then I'll just draw my design. And you're not sewing the paper to it or anything, you're just seeing what it looks like. And you can pin your paper to it, but just make sure that you have the movements down. It kind of looks cool on the paper too. There you go. That's kind of fun. So try that and pin it down and practice your tracing on the paper. There's a couple of different ways that you can use this, but you know, try these techniques and use them and practice your free motion quilting before you jump in and actually start quilting. It will help you become more confident in your abilities, and it'll allow you to remember how your designs work and which position you need to move your sewing machine to get to the next design. Really important. So let's thread our machine, and I'm just going to come down here and do my little loops right now. And you can see that I've just drawn on my fabric the design. Now, there are some really good markers out there that are water soluble that you can draw on your quilt, but I haven't found the best one yet. Once I do, I will let you know. But for right now, just use the chalk because I do know that it comes out. And don't use too dark of a chalk, just very lightly. Use a pencil as well. The simple little designs are the best way to start. I'm going all the way to the top. And just start moving across. And have fun while you're doing it. You know, learning can be a fun process. Because you could be excited about what you're learning and that it's new and different. I don't want you to be the type of quilter that feels like you have to stitch in the ditch all the time because that's what you're good at. I want you to try new things and new elements and add new ways of quilting.
try new things, be different. One other thing I wanted to show you, it's kind of pleasing to the eye if you're changing from a large to a small, to start with a large and end with a large. And it just makes it more pleasing to the eye, because then you think, oh, they ran out of room or something like that. So just make sure that you start with a large and end with a large, or if you're starting with a small, end with a small. It works a little nicer and it's more pleasing to the eye. Just a couple more things as you're quilting. Just a few thoughts that I want to bring to your attention is, as you're quilting, even free motion quilting, getting your quilt on nice and straight really does help it turn out more even and beautiful. If you put your quilt on uneven, it's going to look a little uneven and a little sloppy. So as you're putting your quilt, use your cloth leaders, or make sure that your edges are nice and straight. It just makes a lot of difference as you're quilting. And it keeps it from moving up your quilt at an angle or down. So make sure that you have a straight line going across your quilt and that your edges of your top and your bottom are nice and straight. And if it's a piece top, make sure that you're positioning your top where you want that strip or wherever you want that block to be. So if you want to spray baste as you're positioning it, you can. I do not like to baste. It's something that I just don't want to do. So I'm very aware, because my backings are always piece, of where I want that center, if I want it centered or if I want it off to the side. Then the other thing is as you're quilting, just recognize that there are different size throats of machine. I'm using a 19-inch machine, so I have quite a distance I can travel, and I could make a larger design, one big, huge design. If you have a smaller throat, then the size of your design is going to have to be smaller and in proportion that you can quilt it without hitting the back of the machine. So as you're quilting along, if you have a smaller throat, then you're going to hit the back of your machine and it can mess up your design. So make sure that you know how far you can quilt without hitting the back of your machine. So I like to, with my chalk, just mark. So I'm not going to mark it down here past the foot. You're going to want to mark it up here before it hits. So I know that that's how far I can travel without hitting the back of my machine. And then if I hit the back of my machine, it's going to mess up my design and cause me to have a straight line because I'm hitting the back of it. So make sure that you do your markings as you're quilting along and that you're tacking down the edges of your quilt. If you happen to sew off the edge of your quilt as you're coming back onto it, I'm just going to show you right down here. It can fold over the edge of it, but also it can get caught between the needle and the foot, and you can sew your quilt block down in your foot, and then you're just going to have to cut it out. Or be really careful as you're unpicking it right there. So notice that this is extremely important and a lot of, one that I learned the hard way. So learn from me, okay? I do not like to unpick, but yet I made a big mess by not tacking down the edges of my quilt. And so ever since then, I've been very religious about tacking down the edges, even with free motion quilting. And even if you're quilting inside this area, it's a good rule of thumb to always tack down your quilt edges, because you never know if you're accidentally going to sew off the edge. So those are just a few rules and techniques. And I look forward to you joining me for part 2 of this, where I'm going to show you some accessories for free motion fundamentals that you can use to help ease you into that process. So join me next time. And please, look at the spring fling, look at all the beautiful quilts that are there. If you have quilts, enter them, and join me again for our next free motion fundamentals part 2.
Oh, fantastic. We had so much fun with that. I, again, am learning so much, and I love my little doodle book. Oh, fantastic. You've got the True Cut travel kit out.
Yes, this is our next giveaway.
Well, let's talk about Carla's video really quick.
Oh, we're going to talk about Carla's video. So before I interrupt.
That's okay. So, yeah, so the fundamental, was there anything that any of you heard that you wanted to start doing with quilting or thought it was a great tip that she had?
I really like the tip with the paper, taking the thread out of the needle. I thought that was a brilliant idea. Really good to get the muscle memory and sort of remembering that pattern. I thought that was a brilliant tip.
And also developing a pattern from simple line strokes and then putting further line strokes and building up on the design rather than just going in blunt. You know, you just do it carefully, slowly, and away you go.
I love that she said to use cursive lettering, right? Something that most of us my age and older understand cursive, and so just making that, I've done a cursive letter millions of times, and so now moving that into my quilting is really helpful.
Our E's and L's should be pretty good by now.
Yeah, very practiced. Well, okay, I didn't see any other questions coming through, so we're going to now go to our True Cut Travel Kit giveaway. So Rob, take it away and tell us all about this fantastic item.
We have our next giveaway, the True Cut Travel Giveaway. It's a pack that you can pack up ready to take to your classes.
Yeah, let's have him. You guys hold that. Yeah. You guys can you can show one at a time, Rob. Let them hold it. You can introduce them to the pieces.
Right. First of all, we have a handy cutting mat, 8 by 10, easy to go with you to your classes. We then have, here we go, a pencil pack, 3 different color pencils, 2 for marking on fabric and 1 regular number 2 pencil. A wonderful device, a magnetic wrist strap. Keeps your pins in place. It's on a slap bar, so literally, and there it is on your arm. Pins go on there, never looking for pins again. Not that any of you will ever need it, but this is your emergency stitch ripper. It should always stay on the card in the case, but just in case, that's your emergency stitch ripper. Moving on, we have a pencil sharpener to keep those pencils super sharp.
Good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And a pack of large head pins to go onto your wristband, ready for use. A beautiful, durable, sharp scissors for cutting fabric and thread. A 7 by 3 ruler with the True Cut guide on it, ready to go with your circular cutters. True grips. These are non-stick, sticky grips. They go on the back of your rulers and they just stop your ruler sliding all over the place as you're trying to cut your fabric. A 28mm straight rotary cutter with the super guide to go straight onto your ruler. And finally, it's all actually fitted in the case, but it's a sand block patchwork board for easy patterning and piecework. So that is our next giveaway, and the lucky winner is
Ross Atmore.
Well done, Ross.
Congratulations, Ross. We have your information, so we will send an email to you to ask the best way to get the information or that new travel kit to you. I love using that travel kit. It's so much fun. It also comes with a pattern for a postage stamp pin cushion. So you'll have that pattern in there as well, and it's got that lovely shoulder and hand strap. It's so fantastic. So congratulations again, Ross.
Congratulations. Now I am butting in here just a little bit.
Yeah.
I got to tell you. So again, you've been watching. There's been some wonderful things that we've been able to see from Birmingham. There's been some awesome things that we've been able to learn from Carla. There's another video coming up as well. But again, if you're with us and joining us, just so you know, if you have other questions about the goods, give us a call. I know the lines have been busy, but call back while we're open today. We can help answer questions and throughout this week. I just wanted to put that back out there. These travel kits, even though you're not the lucky winner, you can also come by and pick one of those up as well.
Indeed.
Remember, that sale is going on, so I'm just going to come and bring that out because a lot of people want to know, where is it? How do I get it? And our goal, I don't know if you noticed the bag too, this bag was designed, it's actually a little bit of a hard case, so this can travel with you anywhere, and you can put all of your other knickknacks and notions in there as well as you're traveling. But again, we're excited to see part of the next video, but does I have to do that little call out? That's all. Step back out. We'll have the number at the bottom of the screen. So
thanks, Nathan.
Thanks so much, Nathan. Okay, so again, if you didn't get a chance to win that fantastic travel kit, again, all the prizes are available for purchase through J&B Sewing. We're going to watch now how to use the domestic machine on the cutie frame. Now, I know a lot of people were able to purchase a cutie frame at the Festival of Quilts. So if you're using a domestic machine or you're finally thinking, maybe I should do it now, it's got a fantastic special going on. I know Sam was talking about the pricing that we've got on there through Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's watch that video and we'll, oh, what was that? Say that again.
I was just going to say, I would invite anybody who's on the stream here to make comments if they picked up a new cutie frame at the show, because a lot of those went out at the trade show. We'd love to hear are people getting them put together? Have they used them? What do they think? So if you want to put those in the comments, we'd love to see your feedback on that.
I would just also like to say that we've picked up the winner of this True Cut Travel Kit, actually purchased a cutie frame at the Birmingham show and is on her way to her, and it will be with her tomorrow morning. So she now has a travel kit so she can prep all of her quilts before she gets the cutie up.
Congrats.
Excellent.
So well done.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Okay, so we're going to go to that video now.
Oh, go. But notice how much smoother I am with my pebbles.
Light,
yes.
easy to move.
Yes, so much easier.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, Nathan.
I'm excited to be here.
Me too.
You have a domestic machine. You have some fabric. You're going to get into quilting.
I'm going to attempt to get into quilting, yes.
Where are we going to begin?
We're going to set up our machine for free motion quilting. And what you'll need to do is change your foot, put your feed dogs down, and get your table. The feed dogs are what move your fabric through while you're piecing, and they tend to grab the fabric, so we want to put the feed dogs down. So we want a smooth surface to be able to manipulate the fabric and do our beautiful designs.
So now, Carla, I know we're going to be switching the foot. You mentioned
the darning foot, the quilting foot, or the embroidery foot, okay? It's a rounded or open toe for you to be able to move without it grabbing your fabric. It's not hard to change your feet. I'm just going to loosen it with my screwdriver and then undo the thumb screw and take the foot out. And I want to do it enough that I can slide my embroidery foot or darning foot on.
Great. Now we've got the right foot on there.
Yeah.
Now, Carla, here's the big part. We're going to go ahead and we're going to quilt.
Yeah, we're going to attempt to quilt. All right, so usually, there are several different ways. A lot of quilters will show how to quilt, and they have their own techniques, and they're really good at it. I have a struggle when I'm sewing a binding on a big, heavy quilt, that if it's hanging off to the side, it's going to pull away from me. So usually I like to bring it up and use some sort of system to kind of help me manage it. But that's one of the struggles that I have when I'm trying to free motion quilt, just using my machine and the table, is managing the fabric.
So we have the fabric set up.
Right, and you're going to see my challenges and how uncomfortable it is for me. Number one, I want to talk about the positioning. When you're free motion quilting and being able to be angled so your shoulders are nice and straight, you're not hunched over like this, we have a tendency to really get our faces in there. On this one, you're really multitasking. You're using your foot pedal to gauge your speed, so you have to think about the pressure, and then you're also moving moving the fabric at the same time to get your stitch length. So I'm going to place my hands just like this. I'm going to pull at my thread. You want to make sure that you put your presser foot down, but I'm pushing down because that's what I feel like I need to do. But really you shouldn't, because then it pushes the fabric down and it's not going to allow you that free motion that you're wanting. So see, as I'm pushing it through, I'm just going to go little distances and stop. It's pulling on this side, so it's not even moving under the foot very easily. So maybe if I just don't push down quite so hard.
If you're at home and you're using the machine, do you have some of these kind of experiences? Carly, you talked about the pressure, holding, moving, pushing, that those things are all...
I feel like I want to grab the fabric and pull it through.
That's what I feel like I would want to do.
I'm trying to do a little pebble here, but something I'm pretty good at on the frame. But notice, listen to my machine. I'm having a hard time just getting that sweet spot.
Slowing it down necessarily. Carla, thank you very much. How are you feeling about this?
It's tough. It's really tough to do. And I'm finding that I'm tensing up because I want it to look so good and so pretty, and it's going to take me a lot of practice, and I promise I will get better as the more I practice.
This is one of the reasons I think that you love a frame.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the difference between moving fabric under the needle quickly and then moving the pen over the fabric. Now, Carla, here is a slightly different situation.
Yes.
This is the fabric rolled up in the throat.
Right.
What's the management of the fabric at this current stage?
Well, on the one end, you have the fabric pulling this direction. On the other end, you're trying to manipulate using your hand, working in the area, holding all of the fabric in this direction. It gets a little cumbersome and very difficult, and it starts to weigh. See, I broke my wrist a while back, and it really starts to wear on my wrist and on my shoulders. That's where we really feel it. And you get quilter's neck. It's when you're tensing up and you're starting to feel really tense and tight, and you just feel like you need to go to the chiropractor or the massage.
That's when you need a massage chair at home.
Right,
so
that's right.
Fun. Now, Carla, I also have heard that when you're starting, that some of the ladies will put this that's up over their shoulder. It's all over, depending on how big.
And they have contraptions in their house to hold the fabric.
It's heavy.
Yes.
The stress, not only on your hands, your wrists, like you said, your necks and your shoulders. These are some of the things that if you finished a quilt at home, this is why a lot of people just do straight stitching, by the way, because as you're pushing through, it's just easier to roll it and push it all the way through. Right now, you have this extra bit of fabric.
Right. You have to worry about this one too because it's pulling. And you have so much fabric to manage. That's the difficult thing for me.
When you do this on a frame, what gets solved?
It makes it easier for me because I'm moving the machine rather than the fabric through the throat of the machine. And it's holding my fabric in a stable position so that I can just move across it. So I don't have to worry about multitasking and pushing on the foot. Only a couple of things that I have to think about is pushing the foot pedal and how fast I'm moving the machine.
Okay, Carla, this is the signing challenge.
Right.
So, Carla, we're going to have you sign your name.
Okay. All right, here we go, Nathan. Okay, I'm going to come down this way. And notice I'm catching on there, but I'm going to try it. Now I'm going to go back and do my... Oh, go.
You're doing good. I'm going to encourage you. Way to go. Keep it up.
I'm going to go A. It looks like I'm back in grade school.
That's all right. That's kind of what we're doing. It's a little bit different. That's looking really good, Carla.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my L.
Way to
and
go.
You can tell I'm struggling with this, but I'm going to go back around. All right, so there we go. Don't make me do my last name. All right, okay.
There you go.
There we go.
Nice. I'm going to give the audience this challenge. Get an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I fold it up at the end because this will be a little bit easier for you to hold and move. And I want you to try this because, Carla, what we just did, you signed your name, we pushed and we moved the fabric through, and now we're going to duplicate the same thing in 2 ways. So now hold the pen in your right hand here. That's, well, or is that your writing hand, I guess?
Yes, this
so
is my writing
hold it in
hand.
your writing hand. Then I'm going to tell you to switch it to the other hand.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is going to become the needle. I want you to go ahead and let me take out the tip here. Go ahead and put it down on the paper.
Right.
Now what you're going to do is take your normal hand. Don't move this, and I want you now to move the paper to sign your name.
And I have to say, it's really tempting.
And again, if you want to put your hand flat, however you want to do this, but go ahead and you're going to sign your name. Now, well, how are you feeling about this right now?
It's tough.
A lot of times people are
Because
like, it's awkward.
I want to move my hand because I know the direction rather than the paper.
And one of the things that happens is because we're moving our normal hand, it's actually upside down and backwards in order to write our name. So keep on going. One more, get the L there. Okay, that's good. All right, now what I want you to do is pick it up with your normal writing hand, and I just want you to go ahead and sign your name for me. Nice and easy, fast. Go ahead and put it on out there.
I'm not picking it up because that's the way you quilt.
Well,
okay?
just like signing your name at home. So if you're going to be signing your name, let me ask, how much easier was that?
Oh man, it's a walk in the park.
Walk in the park. So if you're at home and you have a sheet of paper, great. If not, I would encourage you, you can do this with your hands. If I'm right-handed, normally I would write this way. So, okay, let's take my left hand, and now I will try to sign my name on my hand. Trust me, it is not as easy.
And look how jerky it looks. I mean, and look how smooth this one looks. So big difference because I'm trying to stop and start and push the paper under the pen.
Pushing, starting, stopping. It's backwards in your mind, you know, and so a lot of these things, if you think about it, when we sign our name, it's the same way we've drawn, when we draw our stick figures.
We're gonna have thread build up and stuff like that. We really will.
Same when we color. All these things that you've done as you've grown up is the process that we're gonna introduce you to in just a minute, and we're gonna now do the same challenge, Carla, on the Cutie frame with the same domestic machine.
Nice.
All right, Carla, we have the top carriage from the Cutie frame. I have a machine. I have an amazing sheet of paper. Hopefully you can find one of these from a notebook or something at home. Now, why? Carla, one of the biggest questions we get asked is what?
Will my machine fit?
Will my machine fit? How do I know? And so I thought we'd just quickly answer that. And what I wanted to do is just show you, here's a sheet of paper, and we have a template at graceframe.com
on
the Cutie page, and you can download this. We'll have one that has a print of the size of the opening of the carriage. A lot of people want to know, well, will my machine fit? What we want to look at is, will it not fall into the hole?
Right.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move it to one side here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to kind of fold this. So I want everybody to see this is the size of the hole. Go ahead and hold that.
All right.
You can take your machine and you can compare it to the feet on your machine. Are the feet wider than the sheet of paper?
And that's these black feet
the
right
black
here.
feet. Yep. Are they outside of this? Because this is the hole.
Yeah.
So the answer is yes. See how the feet are wider? What that means is that when the machine goes to sit here, can you see how those feet then are going to sit so that it won't fall into the hole? Now, the width of the machines change as well. I'm going to take a sheet of paper again.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and lay this across, and you'll notice that it's just about the width of a sheet of paper. So I'm going to hold this up, and I want to have you put that across the bottom. Do the feet fit inside of that space?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so I'm going to put this up here. We're going to take a quick look at this, Carla. Here it is. Again, if your machine is wider on the outside, again, not the feet, it's okay if the machine were to sit off of the edge, or if it would extend off the front, because the feet are on the carriage. All right, Carla, we have a table surface.
Yes.
Could it be a kitchen table?
Yes, it could.
Could it be maybe my counter space?
Yes, I quilt on my island.
Okay. So it could be a folding table, one of the portable ones, etc. So I have the Cutie frame. The rubber pads are on the entire bottom, which is a really nice surface. The reason we've done this is to keep it so that your table surface stays safe. Some of you might have quartz or corian, or you might have formica. This one's real wood, and so what we don't want to do, we don't want it to scratch. The other thing it does, Carla, is you'll see that once we put it up here, it won't slide around. So we don't have to worry about clamping or holding or putting it together. So that's what we have. So I'm going to have you kind of come around.
Okay.
From the front, it's really easy. If you're just going to lift this, I'm going to have you just kind of lift
I'm
it.
just going to show you how I would do it.
Okay, I'm going to make sure that's
and I have to kind of stand like this, but I'm just going to lift it up like this, and it's not heavy at all. Not like my sewing machine. And I'm just going to put it on my table, and I'll show you how stable it's going to be. Man, it's stable.
All right. All right, we're going to talk about this rail part. This is the part that allows the rail that we put through the throat of the machine to kind of be held in place. Carla, there are no tools required. Once this has been built, you can just do it with your hands. So why don't you go ahead and slide that off for me so everybody can see.
I'm just going to move it this direction. There's a little arrow that points to the direction that you move it.
I'm going to grab the other side of the frame, and then Carla, if you'll just go ahead and take the rail and just sit it down there for just a second.
Right here.
This is the carriage.
Yeah, the wheels are at an angle, and I just want to position them onto the track so that it's going to move side to side.
There we are. This is the upper carriage. Carla, here you go. This one again just sits on
so again,
top.
the angled wheels just right over the tracks.
Okay, Carla, here's the machine.
This is how I would hold it to put it on. And I make sure that the feet are going to be positioned on the solid part.
All right, now we'll go ahead and just put our machine base clamps in to hold that in place. And so now our machine has been positioned on the carriage, ready to go. Okay, we put the machine on, we put the clamps on. Right now I'm gonna come to the side. We have these easy little clamps that we can just open up. That allows us to raise the side of this frame up. And this goes through the throat of the machine. We're gonna lift it up. There we go. We're gonna bring the machine all the way down to the side. We have quite a bit of clearance. I did this on purpose so that we can see how high this is. I'm just gonna loosen this a little bit. There are letters on the outside. Right now I'm on G. I'm going to move the machine back to the other side. We're gonna check G over here as well. Now we're equal both left and right. Now our rail's in place. What we did is we just took our end caps and popped those back over the rails to put those back in place. We also have over here on the side a little lever that we can open up, and we have this on both the left and the right side. And then this allows us to pull the rail out so that the machine can clear the front. I will set both of these here right at the front number. Locking that back in place keeps that from moving. Again, if it's open, we can push it in and pull it out. Again, locking that in place allows us to have the right clearance on the machine from front to back. So as
I pushed it all the way to the back of the machine so that I could position the pole.
I do want to just briefly talk about the materials, and this is one thing you like to talk about. We like to put our thumb here. It makes it easy to get these off.
Yes, it does. It really does help.
But with this, I'm going to have you hold that for a minute. I'm going to grab another one here. We have taken all of the parts of this frame and we've made them out of the materials that will make them the most durable for the purpose. These are made out of polycarbonate, which means they're very springy, and the shape is different and unique because on the frame, we actually utilize square rails also, which is very different. So the shape, once we clamp it, allows it to work like a ratchet in order to create tension on the frame. All together, we have 7 different clips. Again, we've got 2 sides. That's used when the fabric is wide. The ones in the throat of the machine are a little bit different because they don't ratchet, they stay in place. And then we have the front ones. These ones we use to create tension. Now, Carla, we did put the fabric on, and one thing you asked me was, Nathan, I want to show them the handles. What were your thoughts about the adjustment or the handles?
What you're going to do is this little knob right here is how you're going to adjust them. Now you can adjust them out or in, however you want, and then you can position them up or down, whatever's comfortable for you.
I love that, Carla. The other thing as well is this frame. A lot of people want to know, like, there's other things like pantographs, laser work and those things. The handles can be that easy method. You can take them out, you can put them in the back. You can use the table surface. So it has been built the same way a lot of the professional frames. The track system has been, the functionality, the motion is the same. It takes the same technology on that track, and the carriage that we pull from our premium frames are in this one as well. Okay, Carla, you did the free motion with this just sitting down on a table, and now we're gonna do that on the cutie frame. Go ahead, and I'm excited to see some pebbling.
All right, and I'm going to start quilting. But notice how much smoother I am with my pebbles.
Light, easy to move.
Yeah, so now I can just, so much easier. And now all I have to worry about is the speed and find that sweet spot. I'm so much better at this method than I am the other method.
All right, I'm having you pause for just a minute. Why are you feeling more comfortable doing this than what you were doing?
Because I'm able to move the machine just like I would my pencil or my pen across the quilt, like I'm writing. And I have the movements down in my muscle memory because I've drawn pebbles. And so that's what I'm using.
Okay, Carla, the signature challenge. This was done on the machine, free motion, on a table. Carla, I then had you take the
Right.
pen and the paper and we drew. If you were following us,
Yeah.
you did the same thing. Hopefully we're finding that there's a lot of emotions.
Right,
When I do
right,
this
right.
with a bunch of quilters, Carla, and I ask them, how did you feel? They're like, it was frustrating. I didn't get it. Oh, it was confusing. Oh, it was awkward. That's a lot of what we have. Now though, we put the same fabric on the frame. You have your domestic machine on here. You have your handles. And I'm gonna say, okay, Carla, I'm gonna now have you free motion, sign your name as we finish the signing challenge now with a frame so we can see what the difference is.
And I'm happy to do so, okay? So anyway, I'm just gonna push down on my foot pedal and give it some power, but now I'm just moving the machine across and I'm just able to just freely do my name so much easier. And I found kind of that sweet spot where I'm just moving it at the right speed where I get a nice little stitch. Let me cut it.
That's beautiful, Carla. If you look at that, that's quite a bit different. Tell me a little bit again, how were you feeling as you were doing this before
I felt
compared to now?
okay that I was actually even attempting to make a K, and then I really struggled with my A, and my R, was okay. But then this last little one, you see my stacked stitches because I wasn't actually moving the fabric fast enough to even make a nice little stitch. So you get all these little stitches on top of each other. So this was much easier and it's much prettier.
I do think that if you've tried the signature challenge at home, if you've done this on a sheet of paper, what we have found is, Carla, what we've grown up doing, the drawing, the coloring with crayons, signing our names, doing those things.
Muscle memory.
Muscle memory. And it's familiar. And so what we find is when people walk up to the frame and they do this and we say, hey, go ahead and put a drawing down or put your name down, that they feel very comfortable. And the reason why is it's something that you've done your entire lifetime.
We practice it a lot.
It's all the same right way. And in fact, if we were to be a little bit extreme, I could turn this up here and I could use this as that pen or the pencil.
Right, you could.
And I just like to kind of show this because that is what the machine of floating over the fabric does for all the quilters out there.
One thing that a lot of customers are concerned about is how to easily move the fabric from one position to the next as you're quilting. And so notice that I have my quilt on and I'm going to shift it towards the left. So the excess that is hanging on this side will now be moved to the left to reposition to continue quilting to the next one. I want to show you how easy it is. It's not complicated and not hard to do. It's just a little different. And it doesn't take me any more time to reposition the fabric than it would on another style of frame. So I'm just going to unclamp my straps from my quilt clips, all right? I'm going to take this one and this one off. I'm going to leave this one in place and I'm going to undo the front ones as well. You need to make sure that you take this side one off. And again, if you have a little challenge getting it off, use your fingers as leverage. So I'm using my thumbs and I'm just pulling it off and see how easily that came off. And I'm going to put it back here so I can find it. Once I've undone all my straps, I'm using my fingers to help me pull them off so I'm not putting a lot of pressure on any of my joints. Now the reason I left this one on is it's going to help me move my fabric down and reposition it just real easily to the next. So I'm moving this clip down so it's going to come all the way down over here so I can reposition my fabric and then let it fall over the edges. Now I'm going to take my clamps that I took off and now I'm just going to position them right onto the right side of it. Hurry and clamp everything, my straps back into place. And this is really so easy to move and you don't have to worry about your fabric getting dirty or how hard it is going to be on your joints. It's just going to free you up. Now I've done all that, I want to just kind of give it a little tug and put my long clips on. And so as I do, I just kind of pull it forward and then I'm going to do this other side. Here, notice I pulled it forward and I'm going to just clamp them down and I can ratchet them. And now I can finish rolling it up, putting my straps into place, and make sure that you are using your straps to adjust. So this one can be a little tighter to hold it up off of my handles, and that's what I want to do. And I could even pull it a little bit more. Okay, that's going to hold it up really nice. So make sure that you're adjusting your straps to accommodate the bolt. And then the excess elastic, it's made to go in the little clip. So if you'll use it like that, it'll keep your straps from being sewn down underneath your fabric. Okay. See, that didn't take long at all. So let me show you what the bungee clamps do. They're an accessory to help with your side tension on your quilt as you're quilting all the way down. Now, this clamp here, if my fabric reached across and over this pole, I could use it to clamp down. But because my fabric's not reaching, I need something to help stabilize it and hold it into place. That's where the bungee clamps come into play. So what I'm going to do, rather than placing this clamp in the down position, I'm just going to place it in the up position. And I'm going to use my little bungee clips that come with it. And I'm going to position them, going to hold it together and just pull it towards me. So this is going to hold this into place. And now I'm going to take my bungee strap and slide it through the hole on my little clip and pull it all the way. Now I'm going to take my bungee stop and I'm just going to pull it and it's going to stop it into place. So the bungee's not going to go anywhere and I can just hold my fabric in place, giving it the tension that it needs. So it's not going to get in my way. And I'm going to pull it back and position it and see, it's going to give me that extra tension that I need as I'm quilting and allow me so it's not going to get this slack and I have to hold the fabric. The bungee clamps are holding the fabric. Just another way to manage all your quilt layers and make it so much easier for you.
Oh my goodness, I just love the cutie frame. Those were some wonderful tips. If you don't have the cutie frame yet, or if you do have it, how do you match it? How do you do these things? I just love that video. I think they did a great job showcasing all the ways that can help teach you about how to use the cutie frame.
It really is a great video, isn't it? And it does show the wide range of possibilities with the cutie frame.
And it showed specifically the domestic machine, but you can
Yes.
also use the 15R or Pro, the 16X series, and all the way up to the 19X series. So you can use 19 inches of throat space on that frame in such a small area. You don't have to have an entire room taken over, just a nice 2 foot by 4 foot table or section, and you can get quilting.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable frame. We have sold rapidly approaching 1,000 sets since its launch, and it amazes me because I originally ordered, I think it was 20 pieces, and before they'd even landed, I was putting in my next order, and so it's gone on non-stop.
That's fantastic. Here's Sue. She says it's great and easy to use. So thanks for sharing, Sue. Sarah says, maybe I could convince the hubby to get me a cutie frame for now and a mid-arm later. Exactly that, Sue. Use what you have, your domestic. That was what we showed in the video so that you can get started with what you have, what you're familiar with. And then as you get more comfortable with it, you can move up to a larger machine when you're ready.
Exactly. Don't hold back. It'll change your quilting life.
It will. I loved seeing that example with Carla, just with signing her name, pushing the quilting, right? And then the difference when she was free motion quilting with the domestic, it was just night and day, just how much faster and simpler it was.
It was nice to see that Carla also had to think about how to write her name, because myself and Jess have both been in that position, and we were stood in front of a quilting frame thinking, how do I write my name? And we both started off and it was awful, and by the end of it you had very confident
Yes.
So you can
Oh, and
just
what's this quilt
top.
here? Yes.
So you've got on this side, you've got Jessica's signature. And then by the end, you can see that it was a lot more confident. And then this side, I went with a name rather than a signature. And this was my first one. And I think I completely forgot how to spell it. And then by the end of our session, I had a really neat, well, what says Samantha? So it is nice to see Carla had the same struggles as us.
And we were watching along with everybody else. You know, Jana, one thing that I noticed when I was looking at that video, when I was watching you guys try to push the fabric, when I was watching Carla and Nathan trying to push the fabric through the machine, this weekend at the trade show, I talked to a number of people and I asked them the question, so how do you find the process of pushing the fabric through? You know, and it's kind of funny. I haven't been to the UK much. We speak the same language, but we use different words. But the word that they use more than any other to describe pushing fabric through a domestic machine was, it was a nightmare. So the Cutie, of course, helps make that much easier. And I think
It
that
does indeed.
It's not a nightmare anymore. It's a dream.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So I'd love to see that quilt that you showed there, just the one piece. What can you show the back and what it looks like?
Well, the back is a bit patterned, so I don't know whether you can see the back too much, but
Oh yes, lovely. We love seeing any things that any of our quilters or vendors create. It's so much fun to see all the different ways that you can put it together.
Yeah.
we're learning right alongside everybody else. I think that's the important part of showing that, as we're practicing and learning our skills as well.
Well, before we give our final giveaway, which is the grand prize of the Cutie with an 8-pack of finesse thread and the bungee clips. Now, at the very end, Carla was using those so you can see how that they go with, they don't normally come with the Cutie frame. So if you liked what she was doing or have curiosity, you can get them through J&B. Or again, if any of our giveaway items and anything from the Grace Company that we produce, Rob, why don't you tell us what are some specials we got going on, how can get a hold of you, when's the best time to come and see it, all that good stuff.
Right, we're open from Monday to Saturday from 9:30 in the morning till 5 in the evening, and we welcome people at any time. If you're coming for a specific requirement, give us a call first and we can ensure that we're all geared up for that. But we have a lovely large showroom here. It's light, it's airy, and we've got all the Grace quilting frames, all the Grace mid-arm and long-arm machines. We have the domestic sewing machines as Samantha showed earlier. So we just love you. Come on in, come and see us. Come and have a play. We're not high-pressure salespeople. We're here to give you an enjoyable experience and hopefully sell you something that by then you will really want.
And not
Excellent.
We've got all the fabric to go along with that.
Yes, we have
Yes.
a large craft fabric section as well, plus home sewing machines. So we're not just limited to the Grace equipment.
Right, so for all your sewing, all your quilting, cutting needs, contact J&B Sewing. They've got fantastic deals. Again, lasting from the Festival of Quilts in Birmingham all the way to this Saturday. So don't wait, give them a call, send them an email, visit their showroom. You're gonna have a fantastic time, and they are so knowledgeable and able to help you with everything.
Thank you.
Of course. So, okay, our last giveaway. This is the Cutie tabletop frame. Again, it's with that 8-pack of finesse thread, so everything you need to get started, and the 4-pack of bungees. Again, you can put your domestic machine on, or you can put on a Unique machine. It goes up to a 19-inch throat, so you have all of that available to do. So let's get a drum roll for our final winner here. Diane Day, congratulations.
Congratulations, Diane. Now,
So again, we'll contact you. Yes.
May I interject? If Diane has been one of the many people who bought a cutie frame from us during the Festival of Quilts or previously, we are offering an alternative prize of £500 of value of Grace and True Cut equipment instead of the cutie. So it's, you know, if you don't want 2 cutie frames necessarily, so you can pick alternative accessories or threads or True Cut.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, Diane, I really hope you have the cutie already so that you can partake in that. And if not, you get the fantastic bundle of the cutie things. So congratulations, Diane. Congratulations, all our winners. And thank you everyone for watching with us. We're going to have another one of these digital events in the future. So watch our Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, go in, like, share, and subscribe to our Instagram or Facebook. And then you can get all the information with what we've got going on, and we'll see you next time.
Well done.
There's Diane. Wow, thank you. Yay.
You know, I think Diane has a nice down payment on a new machine if she wanted it.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody. We will see you next time. Thank you, everybody in the UK.
Yeah, thank you, Jana.
everybody.
Thank you for all your efforts in bringing this video together.